Texas Governor Greg Abbott has announced that he is lifting the state's mask mandate, which will take effect on March 10th. In addition to that, he's lifting all restrictions regarding the number of diners or customers allowed inside businesses. This comes as there has been a dip in the number of new coronavirus cases, which is positive news to be sure. I'm sure that vaccinations have something to do with that. I'm sure that, if states continue to follow social distancing guidelines and mask mandates, we'll probably see the numbers continue to dip. However, we are starting to see this pretty devastating trend of governors, not just Greg Abbott, but governors in other red states, including Mississippi, Iowa, North Dakota, and Montana, just lifting these types of restrictions that have proven to be pretty effective. And so we'll see how this plays out. But there are some cynical people out there who think that this is Abbott's way of trying to distract attention away from how poorly the state has handled the recent winter storm, the privatization and the deregulation of the energy grid in the state has been a complete and utter disaster. And so the state has been dealing with all these scandals recently. So I understand why some of the more cynical individuals would think that he's doing this to kind of distract attention away from all of that. But I also want you to keep in mind that in a state of tens of millions, only 2 million people have been vaccinated in Texas so far. So it's certainly very early. It's too early to lift these restrictions. Francesca, what do you think?
I feel for the people of Texas. I truly do, because I know that there are people who have comorbidities, who are elderly, who have not gotten the vaccine, who have been buried under like insane snowstorms, who've had to burn their own furniture, who have been waiting in water lines, and they understand that the deregulatory policies of their state government is the reason that they were in that mess with the winter storm to begin with, and the fact that there was not enough electricity provided to the people. Now they're hit with all these bills, and okay, no more mask mandate, more deregulation in the face of other failed policies right there. Like, people are going to die, people are going to be hurt by this. I can only imagine if it is a cynical ploy to try and cover for the lack of response and the lack of preparedness to the storms and the electrical grid. Like, imagine if that had happened and that storm had happened and there was no mask mandate and people were just in the cold without masks. I mean, the one thing that was positive was like, as people have to shelter because they can't live in their homes anymore, at least there's a little bit of guidelines on the coronavirus, so we're not gonna create these more super spreader events. But look, we understand that Republican governors and lawmakers and even Democratic ones, they know, especially Republican lawmakers know who is dying. They know that this is mostly Black and Latino Americans who've been disproportionately hit by COVID. That's not to say others haven't as well, but these are also disproportionately essential workers, and they're willing to risk their lives. I do not like, it is flagrantly just saying your life doesn't matter. Once again, we're back to this.
Yeah, we're gonna force you to work. We're gonna underpay you to put your life at risk in a lot of cases. And we're going to do away with the tiny amount of protections and restrictions we have in place to try to protect you. It's just, you just really hit the nail on the head, Francesca, because I think about the early days of the pandemic. I think about how healthcare workers and frontline workers and grocery store workers, all the people that have been, labeled essential workers were applauded, and it was always just lip service. At the end of the day, they've never really gotten what they deserve in what they do, honestly, like putting themselves at risk. And it's been one insulting move after the next, especially in states like Texas. And we know what it's for. We know that it's because businesses want to make money. They want the economy to open up again. They want to make sure that the stock market doesn't get hurt by these closures. They don't want to pay any type of unemployment insurance. They don't want to pay any more relief checks to people. They just want you to go to work. Coronavirus be damned, they don't care. They don't care about people, and nothing makes that clearer than the fact that 42,000 Texans have died during this pandemic. 42,000. So Texas wasn't that great to begin with when it came to their social distancing guidelines or their enforcement of masks, and now things are about to get worse with the lifting of these regulations. So.
I mean, not to mention, I just want to say Texas is also one of the states with the most uninsured people when it comes to healthcare. So Texas has a lot of things working against them. I feel for folks there, I really do. And the other thing I'll say is that, I know we're gonna talk about deportation in a little bit, and the fact that we've got like plane loads full of immigrants, sending them back to their countries. Meanwhile, we're probably allowing flights from Texas to go wherever they want, baby. I mean, this is the thing. If we were serious, and I know someone's gonna say, I'm an authoritarian commie, blah, 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 blah. No, the countries that have actually stopped the spread of COVID have stopped internal travel. And so I'm sorry, I love to Texas. I don't really want the flights coming over to my state. You know what I mean? I don't want that amount of COVID over here. We got enough problems. But this is the thing, there is a patchwork, like governmentless response to this crisis. And I wish I could say that the Biden administration was signaling that they are doing a radically different approach. I don't see that happening. I still see them centering on the market, reopen everything, as if, you're totally right, as if that were the solution. On whose backs is that the solution?
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.